Good evening. It's Monday and it's beautiful sunshine here where I am, and I hope it is where you are, or it's been a beautiful day at least. It's a little warmer than usual in the sense of over the years, but we're not saying no because we had a long winter. Anyway, I'm here. My voice has been coughing for I don't know how long, so I am telling it to settle down because we're ready to do some mental mind treatments here. Uh, I'm not sure if everyone sort of really understands that the mental mind treatments are a type of prayer. It's an alternative prayer. It's more designed to be more one-on-one engaged into the universal force, love force, whatever you want to call that. There's so many different names. To me, because I feel the love vibration that is there, and it was the first introductions I had way early about this energy that is there for us. And so I call it the love force. You can call it whatever. It's the same thing. Higher power, different names for different religions comes in. All sorts of different things happen. But I welcome you, and as usual, I do have some names written down. And so if you want me to do a treatment and you can't be here at 7 on a Monday night, you can always email me, text me, but email is probably better, saying this is what I would like to do. And I see Marion's here with, which is great, and Maggie G is here. And she says, so glad to see you tonight. Blessings. I'm glad to see me here tonight, too. So it's been a kind of a rough few days with my back. I was, if you saw my Sunday Thought, I did a wedding on Saturday afternoon. And I really didn't know if I was going to be able to stand to do it. Just seemed that everything came in on here we go, clearing the old throat again. I thought it had cleared. Anyway, I made it and I'm good and I'm getting much better, so I'm glad to be here. So Karen, welcome. Hello, greetings. I would appreciate a treatment for a sense of well-being, and her 3 numbers are 14, 2, and 8. And well-being, that's a really nice word. I like that word, well-being, because it means being well, being well on every level. We're physical, we're mental, we're spiritual, we're definitely emotional beings. So all of these things come to play a part for things. And so Grace is coming on, but I'm going to work with Karen here in a minute. So hi, Grace. Nice to have you on here. And hi to you too. Hopefully, if you have something that you want a mental mind treatment for, please put it down because we've got a few things here. So first person, Karen. Now, I was really interested in your numbers tonight, Karen, 14, 2, and 8. I think in lots of ways that you're talking about well-being, and it seems to me when I look at these numbers that this is a decision that you really need to make. It's almost like, do we look at what we feel doesn't work or is not good enough, or do we look at how we want to be and where we want to go and what we want to achieve? And I really think there's 2 here, because the 14 shows me that you've got balance, you've got understanding, you've got knowledge. But it's about deciding that, yes, I'm good. I am absolutely wonderful. And being able to, again, balance that spiritual and the material worlds. Or you maybe can put it this way, philosophical viewpoint of how your world is and how you want it to be. So let's just see what we get here when we go into treatment for this. Knowing that there is one power and there is one essence, and that therefore we're all connected as one in the great love energy that is there. I speak my word for Karen. As I speak my word for Karen, I know that I am ready to embrace all of who I am. I'm ready to embrace that which maybe I don't particularly like, and also that which I do like. I'm willing to embrace and put them together. And in putting them together, they become in harmony. And one side does not offset the other. I feel the acceptance here is to accept I am myself. I am who I am. I move forward knowing who I am and knowing what I can do and what I can be. And therefore, Karen, my dear, look to the pluses, because the pluses are the leader that will aid in the deciding factor of where you are now. Where you were is where you were. Goodbye, past. Where you're heading is where you're heading. Hello, future. So there's all of this that is going. I give thanks in the knowing of this because it feels very clear to me that the path is clear. The path is easy. The path is moving in the direction that you're wanting to go. And it flows so really, really easily and well. I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks in knowing that Karen is committed to her growth, which we know. I give thanks in knowing that she decides that she is who she thinks she is. Not the old stuff, the new stuff, the new awareness, the new wonderful sense of being. And truly, as I release this thought, in gratitude and love of knowing that Karen is, I was going to say who she thinks she is, but it's not like the old thinking. It's about the new thinking. It's about the new awareness and the new direction that she's moving in. So, my dear Karen, keep it up. Let the old thoughts go. Let the put downs of self go. Let all the doubts of who you may be and who you may not be. Goodbye. It's because you are who you really are. You are where you want to be. Go from that point. Okay. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Okay, Grace B says, hi, yes, would you appreciate a treatment for a sense of well-being? Another one of a well-being. Yeah, it seems to be the thing today, which is fine because I've got some written down here. Hang on, where are you? 7, 11, and 22, right? Yeah. 7, 11, 22, and Grace. Okay. When I look at the numbers here, there is a contradiction also in here. It's as though you are willing and ready to leave the past behind, but it is the stepping out into the commitment of the new, and that means having faith. Sometimes we have to have faith in the direction of where we're heading and where we're going. We have to step out from the old. And even though we might say, yes, I want change, I want this well-being, and you can see it clearly, it's that step of letting go the past. Now, I just have to make a little comment here because it's so funny how sometimes numbers will come up, but also similar elements come up. And maybe it is a time of letting go the old and the past right now. But it's like, Grace, what I sense here is that faith means that you believe there is a power that loves you. You believe that there is a power that is not judgmental, because the judgment comes up. It's not judgmental. It's loving and wanting you to have what you want to have. It wants you to move in the direction that you want to move in. It wants you to be all that you truly can be. And that means you have to make the commitment to that. You have to recognize the past is the past. We all screw up, dear. We all screw up. And that's where self-forgiveness comes in, of which I'm very big on, forgiving self. Because otherwise, we carry the guilt, we carry the regret with us unless we can forgive ourselves. And we can forgive ourselves by knowing there is a greater power that loves us without judgment. It's us that do the judging. It's us that do the regretting. It's us that pull it on. And it's a matter now of you committing yourself to that life with faith of well-being. And when you don't choose for well-being, you look at self-forgiveness and letting go of guilt, regret, or anything else that makes you feel unsettled. That is us being human. But it's that joy of knowing how much more there is. And I just feel I want to give you a big dose of that of you are loved without measure. You are loved beyond. You are loved for you and your journey. And when we mess up, because we are human, it's understood. So it's not for us to blame or beat ourselves up or feel whatever. It's about letting go, surrendering, moving forward with faith and understanding that the force is there always for you, to support you, to love you, to guide you if you open up and allow it to. So I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks in the well-being that Grace will experience, achieve, and have for herself. And I give thanks by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay. Now, Lisa Marie. Just want to write that name down because it's easier for me to remember. And I'd like a treatment in regards to the shift in my mental health these past 3 weeks. I was doing great, but hit a wall. Yeah. Numbers are 43. Okay. Put the bit in there. 17 and 21. Oh, so often we do that. And that's part of growth, 2 steps forward, 1 back, 3 steps forward, 2 back. Like it's growth doesn't just, we can have these wonderful ha-has and we feel that's it. I'm done. I got it. And then 2 days later, we're making the same errors that we made before, or we're feeling the same way or whatever else. And it's like, oh no. But this is where I just talked about self-forgiveness. This is where we need to realize that I'm going to talk a little bit about this before I stop, dear. The subconscious contains all the decisions, our beliefs, our attitudes, and our subconscious is called that because it's not conscious. But it rules a lot because it is there. And it's decisions sometimes we've made in many lifetimes, if you believe in lifetimes, as I do. But some of them are very old. We decide all sorts of things about who we are and what we are. And then we make a decision on how we're going to change that. And what I find, and which is why I do the kind of work I do, is that sometimes you got to go real deep to be able to transform those beliefs, attitudes, and judgments that you've pulled and created along the way of your life, or lives, I should say. What I see here is that there is a resistance to change. Even though you want to love and you want to be whole and you want to move in the direction that you want to move in, it's more of an acceptance of the balance, knowledge, and awareness that you have so that you can bring it into balance within your life. But the key is to let go the feeling that nothing works. When you get depressed or when you get resistance or when you feel, oh my gosh, I've gone 2 steps back, but you made 3 steps forward. So the love is here for yourself. You want this. And I think it's just a matter of working the balance point. Now, I have a lot of techniques, which I don't really share on here, but I have on many other things I've done on being able to transform things, letting go of old beliefs, attitudes, and judgments, especially how we think wants to do. So what we're going to see here, I just wanting to, it's like a renewal. We need a renewal of belief in self, I think, here, Lisa Marie. So, okay, let me just go into treatment now. Knowing that there is one power and one essence, I know that all is connected. So I therefore am able to speak my word for Lisa Marie. In knowing that no matter what occurs or what has happened or what takes place, that the desire of an end result that one desires and wants to have comes because we are willing to accept the higher being of ourselves and have faith in the direction that you're heading in. Sometimes when we walk along, we stub our toe and it hurts. But guess what? In a short while, the pain leaves the toe. And there again, we feel like, oh, yeah, that toe's not hurting anymore. But it hurts for a wee while, and it can take a lot of attention. And so when we consider the old patterning, the old beliefs, the old attitudes that are kind of, I call them the weeds that like to creep up, there is a sense here of knowing that you're able to actually just say, no, that's in the past. Thank you very much. I am of love. I am of belief. I am where I want to go. And this is where a vision of direction of where you're heading, so you can call upon that to move you in that direction. All of that is so good from Lisa Marie. Now I know, and I give thanks for this. I am so thankful in knowing that the power of universal love is there for you. And that power inspires you to let go of the past. Let go of thinking no matter what I can do, it doesn't work. Or I'm not good enough. I've tried and it doesn't work. All of those thoughts, see them explode into nothing, because it's not the truth. Maybe it was the truth one time, but it's not the truth now. The truth now is that you love yourself. You want to move forward with great awareness of who you are, and you will achieve that. Perseverance. But again, I want to say one step forward, two steps forward, one back. Excuse me, but let go. So I give thanks in knowing that Lisa Marie has strength, has purpose, has direction, and that the energy that loves and cares for her is there supporting her back every step of the way. And for this, I give thanks. And as I release the thanks, I release this thought, knowing it's done. It's true that Lisa Marie is moving forward with love and understanding. And as I finish the mouth, and so it is. Done. Okay, what else have we got up here? I just got to check up with myself. Yes. Karen says, yes, again, we are on the same wavelength. Thanks for the beautiful treatment. I thank you. I appreciate it. Grace B says, Vince a smile. That's nice. Laurie Bradley, hi, and thank you, Norma. Thank you very much, too. Everybody who comes on is appreciated, believe me. Now I'm going to go to my book where I have written down some things here, so we're not finished in 15 minutes or so. Now, the first person I'm going to look at today is Tanya. Now, I picked the numbers for Tanya because I wanted to see, well, I do that anyway. I tune in a little bit and say, what numbers are these? And this is about acceptance. What we want is for her to energetically to be her own self. But the key here for me is acceptance and coming into balance of what she knows and loving herself in a new way. And it's interesting because I'm given a picture. And I know it's a flower that does this. There's a flower. I'm not sure exactly what the flower is, but I see it. It's like something opening up. And in the middle of it, it has this new stem that comes up. And I know it grows into a beautiful flower. And it's like, but it's enclosed. And this is the acceptance that needs to happen here. The acceptance of her own beauty, her own strength, her own power, so that she may be the loving being in truth, in a total truth, I should say. As bigness, because that flower comes, I know it grows into a beautiful flower, but you wouldn't know it because it comes through this green leaves that encase it. Now, so I don't know my flowers very well, except what's in my garden. Okay, so we're going to treatment for Tanya. As I move into the loving force of oneness, light, and being, I speak my word for Tanya. And as I speak my word for Tanya, I know that my fear of being all that I can be, where it is accepted, where it is a truth of myself, that I release that by accepting, first of all, that's what I have. And in the acceptance of I have this fear of being myself, I am able to step over it. I'm able to emerge in my beauty and in my, it's like wonderment, my gorgeousness of knowing, understanding, and being. I know that Tanya can merge into being energetically her own true self, which is delightful, beautiful, and loving, so wanting to share, so wanting to come together. But somehow or other, whatever's gone on before, there is a feeling, but I can't do that. And so I know that the power of love that comes inside can diminish that thought patterning till it is nothing, that it drifts away. I give thanks in the knowing that Tanya is ready to be able to energetically accept her own self and release anything else that does not look like her, that does not relate to her highest and best, that does not understand the essence of who she is. And the emergence of this beautiful being. I see another picture. It's almost like coming out of the water, just gorgeous. And so I give thanks in knowing that Tanya's journey on life has opportunity for her to be her own self, fully her own self. So I give thanks and I release this thought, knowing it's true and that it will begin to work. And so it is. Amen. Oh, big breath. Sometimes they're very, the way they have the words come through me is always interesting. I'm also going to do a prayer for John, who's having a little bit of a rough time with some cancer at the moment. I don't normally say that when I know something like that, but I feel today I need to sort of zoom in on that. And what we want is beautiful speed and healing being done here. And the numbers that I've got here are 22, 17, and 3, which is faith implemented into the life in a loving way has results. Faith again, bringing it back to faith. Now, I know this person has faith. I know this person has a loving heart. But sometimes when we are confronted with certain things, the fear comes up. And even though we know we have all those things at our disposal, we get frightened of what, is happening or what's going to go on. So we kind of don't know if we want to do that. Anyway, as I move into treatment for John, I know the loving force and the loving power is there. I also know that his faith is very, very strong. And I'm calling on that faith to be able to balance his inner system once again. So in balancing the inner system, the love force can come in and do its work. It's about allowing it in. There's a sense here of knowing it here, but we need to know it once more in the heart and allow the body to allow in the beauty of love, the faith of how that love works, that all-encompassing knowingness so healing can take place in a speedy, comfortable way. I give thanks in the knowing that the healing power is there. I give thanks in the knowing that the healing power is doing its job, and the lovingness as John balances his world and what's being told and his inner knowingness, the faith that he has, that they absolutely override what's being told, and he just surrenders to the love, to the knowing, and allows faith to take him to where he needs to go to be fully, completely healed in a direction that I have no idea, but it's his journey. It's his awareness and where he's heading. And I give thanks in the knowing of this. And I give thanks in knowing that he is at one with this by such faith. And I say, and so it is, as I release this thought, knowing it's true. And I'm going to take a big breath and send that. You know, we can have a tremendous faith in, I'll use the word God here, because I know that what this person believes in. We can have a tremendous faith in that, but something happens, and then it's like we try to balance it all out. We try to think often, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? What did I do? What did I do? And sometimes it's just circumstances. Sometimes it's life just throws another curveball and says, you know, how do you want to handle this one? We often have a lot of this stuff already decided before we even come here, be here. And we know in some level. But there is also this resistance because we want to be perfect. And when we have a tremendous faith, we have difficulty coping with our humanity, humanism, our mistakes. And again, as I mentioned earlier tonight, regrets, guilt are two things which we carry. Maybe because I know this person has been through something once before and survived it very well through faith. Then he's thinking, well, how come? How come it's back? What? Or it's different. But anyway, you know, what did I do? What did I do wrong? And maybe nothing. Maybe it just is saying that this is another thing you're going to go through for whatever reason. We can't know it all. But faith really is an important element. But letting go, self-forgiveness, letting go of regret, forgiving self for being human, I think is very high on our priority list at times when things in life are not working the way we want them to work. And there ends my little talk there on that. Maybe it'll come up later again. Sometimes things seem to repeat. Okay, this one is for a person by the name of Tracy. What numbers I picked out was 6, 15, and 3. This is an emotional essence. Again, love is there because every time we see 3, it's the loving force. But there's a lot of confusion and a lot of hesitancy and of accepting who she truly is. And it's like sometimes, you know, people say things to us when we're kids. Sometimes people say things to us as adults. And what we do is think they're right for whatever reason, especially when we're a child. I had to overcome a lot of that. That's why I had to learn all this stuff. So I had to learn how to deal with me in those early years, overcoming my early years in lots of ways, even though looking at my life, I was like, what did I have to overcome? But there was some things. I know here that the connection to the love force is super important for her to be able to move beyond the emotionality, to move beyond the confusion, the uncertainty, and the feeling of not being good enough. So let's see how our treatment goes with this. I know there is one power and there's one essence. And as I speak my word for Tracy, I know that the love force exists as it does with every single human being, that all we need to do is open up and allow it in. I know that by accepting all she is, that she would be able to merge into a sense of understanding herself in a whole different way. It feels as I move into the treatment that I'm in a box. And in this box, no matter what I do, I can't get out of. Like if I go left, if I go right, if I go up, there is a box. The box to me is the belief systems that we have that run from our subconscious out into the life. So there is a sense of giving up. But we never really give up, because deep down we always have this belief that somehow we will change things. Somehow we will make it different. Somehow. But then it doesn't seem to work. So it just reinforces the box. So I know in the power of being that first one has to accept the box and then release it. Release it unto the love of the universe, however you want to call that. Release it unto God, release it unto whatever you call your higher power. I call it love force. So we release that box and bring in strength, purpose, and awareness. And as the strength, purpose, and awareness comes in, there's a shining element. It's like when I think of the aura is dull and it's sad and it's locked in. And then see the aura expanding in color, different colors of the rainbow, iridescent, a sense of purpose. And it reminds me of that flower I talked about earlier, where the flower is here and this is sprouting, this newness coming out. Now, I know that the energy is there for that, but I also know the conscious mind has to be aware of that. And so in this, I am requesting the powers that be here is that they open up that flower for her, that open up the possibility so she perceives herself in a whole different way. There is light, there is love, there is joy, there is understanding, and all is. So I just want to say, I know for Tracy that the light that she wants is in reach. She just has to open up for it and let go of all the other old stuff that doesn't work anymore, and to accept all that she is. I give thanks in knowing that it's available. I give thanks in knowing that she allows it. I give thanks in knowing it's possible. I give thanks in knowing that she can accept all she is and embrace it and be happy and be at one with who she is. And I totally give thanks as I release this thought, knowing it's true, it is done, and is there, that Tracy will accept all that she is. And so it is. Amen. Okay, let me say back in my little comments here. Lisa Marie, thanks. Lisa Marie says, thanks so much, Norma. Blessings and love and light, beautiful souls. That's all of you out there that are watching and listening. Also, Laurie, thank you, Norma. Amazing thoughts. Thank you. We did nothing, just patience. Never be down on yourself. I agree. We have moments, though. You see, I think we have to be really careful in the sense of realizing we're humans. And not everything is 100% the way we want it. And we don't mean to get down on ourselves, but we do. And we can be really upset about it. And it's like, it's an understanding of realizing that in that moment of downness, we disconnect from the love force. So once we know the love force is always with us and is in us and around us, we can take a breath and make another choice. But it's learning that and understanding how to work that. And I think that we just need to be tolerant, too, of people who haven't got that far yet, Laurie says, my imagery is beautiful. Thank you for that. It comes, I'm giving, I'm showing, and just being able to recognize it. Yes, for sure. That's exactly where we are at. I'm going to do another one for Rick, which I started last week. Some people I do weekly, because he's due for surgery. And again, it just feels like everything's coming together. Progression is there. A little bit of a hold up, which I saw last week. And so I'm just going to do a treatment for him, knowing that there is one power and one essence. And in the surgery, it flows so easily and so well that it's successful. And yes, there is a recovery after it, but it's like it flows and it is easy and all things are well. I give thanks in knowing that for Rick, that he is on his way to be happier, easier, and to enjoy life more fully. And for that, I give lots of thanks. as I release this thought, knowing it is true, by saying, and so it is. Okay. I now go to Marianne. I got the numbers when I looked at this was 12, 1, and 17. And some people who know my number system, 12 is about acceptance. 1 is all things are possible. And 17 is about balance. And I wrote down to create the reality desired. I can change the word there. So what if we want to create a reality? From looking at these numbers, it would say, first of all, to accept it in its entirety, that it is already done, because everything is possible. And then it's just about allowing the balance in the world, because 17 is about knowledge, your own knowledge and your own awareness being balanced into the world. But let's just see what the treatment brings forth here. I know there is one power and one essence, and as I'm connected, I can also speak my word for Marianne at this time to create the reality so desired. I also know that by acceptance of that reality in a whole different way, it makes it so visible. I can touch it, be there, know it, because everything is possible. Not the way I want it to be possible, not the way Marianne wants it to be possible, but it is possible. And it's about balancing all the different aspects of life, realizing that you're connected to the source and the source delivers. The source delivers. And it's about acceptance of the gift, the acceptance of the creation. And it's the letting go of anything else that is not in that place, not in that space of being. I give thanks in knowing that the creation of the reality desired is available, is attainable, and can be done. And I release this thought knowing that. And I know that for Marianne, and I know that for any other person who wants to create a circumstance in their lives, is to accept it fully, know that it is possible, and then balance it inside yourself, because it is the knowing. It's not just a head knowing, it's a full body knowing. It's a full body experience. And so I release this thought by saying, and so it is. Amen. And I bring a smile to my face because I remember for 6 weeks working on a result I wanted. And it occurred, not exactly the way I thought it was going to occur, by the way, but in as time has gone on, I see it was absolutely perfect. And so I've learned to appreciate sometimes when things that I knew what I wanted and I got 3/4 of it, and when I didn't. But in retrospect, I didn't need the quarter that I wanted. Thank goodness. Anyway, that's how sometimes life works. So this is I don't think there's any other here. Well, Marianne said, thank you, Norma. Love your prayers and appreciate your wisdom. I appreciate that. Okay, so this is for Christine. I know there's one power and one essence. And as I looked at the numbers for her, I see love, balance, a little bit of confusion. So I'm going to just do this to clear the confusion so that she's in command of herself and her goals. As I speak my word for Christine, I know that there's been so much growth on the inside. It's like everything is beginning to sift to the outsides as the inner core is becoming more and more shiny, bright. And I've used that word positive. So it's the belief in possibilities. And that at this moment that she be in command of herself and her goals. The only thing is I can't lift my chin up. And I always take that as a sign that we're not looking far enough ahead or big enough. And I know that Christine is ready to do that, ready to open up, see, and begin to realize that there is no restrictions. So that lets go of the confusion which says, do I really deserve this? Have I done enough for this? So there's that feeling of guilt about having it, what you want, and knowing that, yes, if you want it, you have it. But often we don't always know what circumstances are going to come with anything we ask for. So I give thanks in knowing that Christine is in command of herself and her goals, and that she's able to look forward, because I had to raise that chin, look forward and see that of the possibilities and not confusion about how. You see, what we want to do is go in our heads and figure out how it's going to happen. And that's the last thing. It's interference. And we get confused. We want to get rid of that. We want to go into the heart, the faith, the knowing. This is what I want. Thank you very much. Yes. And allow it to come in, and it will be. And on that night, I give thanks as I release this thought, knowing that it is true. Christine will and is in command of herself and her goals, and can look forward with ease and grace. And it feels so good as I release the thought, knowing that is true and it is done. So I say thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Beautiful, beautiful. And I thank each one of you that comes here and supports me. Even if you're not on right at 7, but you support me with your thoughts, with your comments. I truly, truly appreciate it. I don't have an agenda when I sit down here. I have some names. You come on. I just say what I see and where I go from there. And it is a delightfulness of life for me. Gives me pleasure, gives me, sustains me, you might say. So I just want to thank you very, very much. And we're growing, which is good. We have more people coming on the chat line, and some people asking. One lady asked, when are you live? I can't seem to find you live. I said, well, I'm only really live at 7 on Mondays. On Sundays, it's usually in a little bit of a time gap. And then Wednesdays, no, I record that and then we put it up. By the way, Wednesday, I'll be looking at May. No, we are in May. Sorry, I'll be looking at June. I haven't got my head back yet. This to me will be interesting because the last 2 months have been just so hard to read because there's no flow, lots of things. And I said for me, a lot of things were happening behind doors that we weren't aware of. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes up in June. I kind of got a lot of my friends follow astrologers. And I've heard some things, but I want to see what my symbology says. So if you're interested, watch Wednesday because we're going to look and see what June's coming in June. And in the meantime, until next Monday, you have a great week. Enjoy, be happy, and know the love force is with you every step of the way. God bless each one of you. Bye. I think. Yeah.